Coach, after a close one like that, on a second night of a back-to-back with guys returning, guys going out, what was your message to the group tonight?
Details. Details. 2 first half free throw line box outs for 5 points. Free throw line, 18 for 26. 3-point game. The details. The little things matter. The margin of error. And again, their effort was incredible for what we did on a back-to-back. So you have to we give a ton of credit for them and praise them for how hard they played, on a second night of a back-to-back. And understanding, again, the margin is very slim. The positive is, we did a better job of taking care of the basketball, one. We gave ourselves an opportunity and a chance to go get this game. But again, those are the details that matter throughout the game.
Paolo played 27 minutes tonight, 34 points, his first game back, obviously, in over 10 weeks. What did you make of his performance, and how is he feeling right now?
I didn't see that one coming. I can tell you that. But that's who he is. I mean, the kid's been working his tail off to get back in. And so what he was able to do with poise, taking the right shots, the right time, defending, taking matchups on. Again, this tells you how much he wants to go get it and get after it. That's who he is. I mean, he's a star for a reason. And, coming back and getting 34, 7, and 3, is not a bad night, for your first time back in over 2 months.
I'm sure we'll ask him when he felt he was back, if he comes in here. But when did you feel like, okay, I can let him go a little bit, or let him kind of feel the game out a little bit like you would if he had been playing for the last 2 months?
It's just him. I don't think that there's a moment once he steps on the floor. There's such a quiet confidence that he possesses that you can just see it in him. I think the moment he made the first couple baskets, you could feel his energy rise. Because he's been working his tail off. The coaches have been working their tails off to get him right. Arnie's done a tremendous job of getting him back right. And I just think the moment he saw those first couple go in, you can see after that first stint, it's who he is.
KCP and Jet had injuries during the game. How are they doing?
We'll reevaluate them tomorrow again.
Having KCP and not in that second half, how much did that affect the team, and how much do you wish you had? Wish you had.
You never hate to see one of your starters go down, and in that regard, I will keep echoing the same message. It's next man up, and in that instance, we got ourselves in the same situation, gave ourselves a chance to tie it at the end and go up. But again, it doesn't come down to those last plays, and we have to keep remembering that it's the free throw line blockouts that we got to make sure we take care of. It's the free throws that we get that we have to knock down because we got the opportunities, and I think our guys played their tails off. And, credit to them for how hard they played, again, on a second night of a back-to-back. And we just make sure we continue to focus in on these details of the small possessions within a game.
Anthony Black, another strong game. At the end of the third quarter, responsible for 12 straight points. What did you like from what you saw from him tonight?
Aggression. I loved how aggressive he was. Getting downhill, attacking the basket, trying to make the right play, defending the right way. I think all of those small pieces are exactly what you ask him and want him to do. We have the utmost confidence in his ability and how he can play and what we know he's capable of doing. And as he continues to do that consistently, that's what we're looking for from him because we do believe in what he's capable of doing.
You keep stressing the point of details, all the fine things that go into it, and that's the margin of error. How much was inflicted within the second half that allowed Milwaukee to pull away?
I think there was a small margin in there. I think Middleton got hot. I think Bobby Portis hit a couple tough jumpers. I think those are things you're going to have to tip your hat to him for making some tough shots. But again, it goes back to it's a 3-point game. We give up free throw line rebounds for 5 total points, and then we don't knock our free throws down. So again, those are all parts of the game. Guys are going to score. They're going to hit some tough shots. That's what you're asking them to do. You do your best to take them off the 3-point line. They go 9 for 25. So we're doing a little bit of our job there. It's just the other little small pieces that we got to make sure we take care of.
Were 27 minutes the limit that Paolo had coming in, or did he find a way to get a couple extra minutes?
You're rounding up, right?
Yeah, 26-32.
26-32. He was 32 seconds over.
Given how much of a competitor he is and how hard-nosed and how hard-nosed your team is, how difficult will it be for him to continue to push forward at the proper pace?
It's not. I will tell you this, it's not. Because you saw what he did tonight and his ability to recognize the time that he can get his rest, the time he can come back in. And he did a great job of communicating coming in the game, coming out of the game, what we need to do, what he saw, how we can execute it. I think those are the benefits of the time that he spent off, being able to see the game, again, slowing down for him. So I think he understands exactly where he is, understand it's not going to be a quick turn, quick fix, but being able to recognize that he's got to keep playing the pace game and moving forward from here.
I realize they're both all-pro players, so maybe forgive the simpleness of the question, but Dame and Giannis, 70 points tonight. How tough of a cover are they?
Big time. You know, they had a great, we talked about at the beginning of the game, you know, they go to that side pick and roll. It's 1-2 combination. You got to figure out how you want to cover it. You know, Dame coming off, you got to decide if you're chasing it over. He does a great job of stopping on a dime, and you got to be careful not fouling him. But then you have Giannis, who's rolling to the rim at a freight train level that you got to get there fast enough. And they had a couple of those possessions that got us. You know, then towards the back end of it, you end up getting the switch out with J.I., who does an excellent job guarding and defending it. So I think those are situations you have to look out for. But, again, they're all-stars, you know, Hall of Fame players for a reason. Thank you. Thank you all.
Tristan, you know, in a close game like this one, how much comes down to the little details? You know, Coach was saying that was kind of his message to you guys after the game tonight against, you know, such a tough opponent.
Yeah, he just said in the locker room, you know, small margin for error. So you could really break it down to multiple possessions throughout the game where we kind of had breakdowns, mental breakdowns. So, yeah, just got to learn from that.
Tristan, you mentioned a couple weeks ago that you hadn't played in a game with Paolo yet. This is your first time doing so tonight. Just what stood out to you about his gravity on the court and what he offered you guys?
Yeah, you can definitely tell everything's kind of shifting towards him. You know, kind of got 5 pairs of eyes on him at all times. So, you know, obviously, you can check out the stats. You know, he played a great game, first game back. So, excited for what's to come.
As someone on the floor, how do you respond when someone who has been out for that long is able to do that and get going the way that he has? I know there's been games like that since he's been out, but to see him and what he's worked through to be able to do that in his first game back, what is that like watching that?
What exactly is the question? Sorry.
So it's like what was your reaction as Paolo was starting to kind of pick up steam and putting on that kind of performance?
Yeah, just feed him the ball, let him go to work. Obviously, we were trying to kind of get a mismatch going, and then either he's attacking the rim or he's spraying it out. He's just as good of a passer as he is a scorer. So, you know, got a couple great looks just out of him having the ball in his hands and making decisions out there.
Tristan, this being your second time playing this Milwaukee team, going back to the Cup game as well earlier this year, you obviously understand the type of player that Dame and Giannis both are. What kind of challenge to cover them do they present?
Yeah, I mean, Giannis is a force, obviously. You know, it kind of takes a team effort, and then they got a good group of snipers around him. So it's tough to be in between, you know, staying home and helping on the ball. But you know, at the end of the day, I feel like we had a pretty good game plan. There's just a couple possessions where we had breakdowns, stuff that we can control, where, yeah, that was just kind of the game, you know, single possessions.
Tristan, just at the beginning of January, you guys still have a ton of season to go, but understanding the importance of what this matchup might bring in terms of playoff implications down the road, how do you guys try to balance the difference between this is just another regular season game and understanding the level of importance that it may present down the road?
Yeah, we attack every single game with a certain mentality and importance. I just think after the game, you know, is when you kind of have to focus on the next one and regroup. But before every single game, I feel like we have the same focus.
For you, you've had some big games, kind of had maybe some up and down performances throughout this part of your rookie season. What's going to be the key to gaining some consistency and you know, kind of bouncing back with more games like you had tonight, like you had I think last week against Toronto?
Yeah, just finding that routine. that's the best for me, and sticking with it, just making sure my everyday life is just as consistent as my basketball that I play, and yeah, that's why this is still a part of the journey. This is still part of first year in the league, and that's what I'm doing.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'll be back with Paolo.
Paolo, as you kind of spoke about leading into this, you hadn't been part of a highly anticipated return before, with people waiting for it, you waiting for it. As you went through the day and took the court, what was the night like for you?
Yeah, it was honestly really fun. I was just really excited from the moment I woke up. I just woke up, realized I actually was playing today, and was smiling. And then just the fans, the reception was great. Everybody just pouring in, showing their support, welcoming me back. It was special. I told, just some of the coaches, I was like, damn, it really don't even feel like real being out here right now. It's been so long. But no, I had a lot of fun.
How do you feel now, and how do you feel like you performed tonight?
I feel all right, a little sore. I think I performed, pretty good. I think, just for the way I was feeling, the first couple minutes, I definitely felt that, just my legs kind of feeling a little weak and my wind not being there. But I think as the game went on, I kind of caught my wind and was able to kind of slow the game down. And honestly, once I got to that point, I think it just felt natural again. And so I think I was a little slow with some of the processing and stuff, but I think just seeing the game for so long on the bench, I think I was able to kind of mold those two perspectives and play some good basketball.
With that time off, what do you feel like you said, with the slowing of the game down, what do you feel like were some of the benefits after such a hot start to the season from having some of that time off?
I mean, I think just the benefits really was watching from the sidelines and seeing what goes on from the sidelines and, how the coaches see it and stuff like that. But honestly, I would have much rather been out there, and so I'm just happy to be back.
Paolo, Jamal had a comment when we asked kind of about his performance that he didn't necessarily see 34 points coming from you in your return.
Yeah, I honestly didn't either. That just kind of happened.
Well, I guess that answers part of my question. But when you're out there and it's been 10 weeks since you've been on the floor, how do you respond in that and kind of let the game come to you? You mentioned, kind of processing the game a little bit, but how do you go about that when that's happening and it's not something you necessarily expected?
Yeah, I think the only way I really know how to go about it is just to try and be myself as best I can, which, I didn't feel like my full self. Had a couple moments where I wanted to dunk and my legs just didn't really give me the boost I needed. So I think, as I keep going and getting more games under my belt, I think I'll start to, feel my body kind of catch back up. So, yeah, I just tried to go out there and act like I had been playing, even though I knew it wasn't going to be the same. I knew I was going to be playing less minutes, so I just wanted to give those minutes all I got and, put forth, great effort in my time playing.
We know you're a competitor, probably a little bit disappointed in the loss at least, but how do you keep kind of the long-term perspective that this is kind of the first step back and that there's still, you'll get your legs back and kind of grow back into the season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. Obviously we would love to get the win, but, you got, like you said, you got to have perspective. This was a second night of a back-to-back. We got guys out, me just coming back in. There was a lot that we could have just, charged to the game and kind of gave up, and we didn't. Guys stepped in and played huge. And yeah, I mean, we didn't have Kenny in the second half, so we're down another starter, and guys stepped up and fought to the end. So I think we all realize, what we're capable of, and when we're at full strength, I think that's when we'll be able to all come together and see what it really looks like.
You've obviously watched a lot of him, but what did you make of the way Tristan was playing with you and playing off of you and just playing with him for the first time tonight?
Yeah, no, it was my first time playing with him. I didn't realize that. Yeah, I mean, he's just a natural. He can kind of fit out there with anybody, any lineup. He finds his way on both sides of the ball. And he's just a really cerebral player, great guy, great feel for the game. So I enjoy playing with him, and I've been watching him all season. He's gotten better and better every game.
Paolo, what needs to happen between now and the point where the team is at full strength or close to it in order to keep that standard and stay where you guys are in the standings?
What needs to happen? I think we just gotta, stick with it. Keep playing hard. I think if we put out the effort that we put out tonight on a consistent basis, I think we'll be just fine. Let Franz, Jalen take their time, get healthy, get back, and they see what's going on. They're going to fit right in. So it's just only a matter of time.
Paolo, that first shot that you saw, that first three that went in, you showed quite a bit of emotion. Just take us through what was going through your mind when you saw that go in and saw the crowd and everything for the first time in quite some time.
Yeah, man, I was just super happy to make a bucket back at the crib. It's been a minute, man. I feel like, just with me being hurt, I kind of felt like food was taken off my plate just in terms of me having to miss so much. And so for me to get to be my first game back in front of the home crowd and for me to knock that down, it just was a great feeling. And, I let out some emotion. And so, yeah, it was really fun.
Paolo, have you talked to Franz much since he had the same injury? Have you given him any advice about coming back, or did he ask for any?
Yeah, no, I think we've talked a fair amount about it, just different points in time, always asking each other how we feel. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, Jesus. All right, there we go. Yeah, I think just seeing him, he's doing a lot of the same stuff that I was doing, in terms of steps of rehab and stuff like that. So, I kind of know what that looks like. So I kind of know where he's at in terms of his process. And, you can tell he's starting to get that itch, just to get back moving, get back in the fold. And but he knows to stay patient. I think, he's a pretty healthy guy and fast healer. So I'm sure he feels pretty good right now. But, obviously the training staff's doing a great job. And he's going to take however much time he needs, and he'll be back.
You've kind of talked about the atmosphere a few different times, but I wanted to ask specifically about the starting lineup introduction, the Undertaker theme.
God, I wish they would have told me, man. I would have sat there when the music went. See, I got up, and so the music started going, and so I felt like I messed it up. I messed up a perfect moment. I should have my head down, and I should have brought it up slowly like the Undertaker. But no one told me that the Undertaker music was coming on. But that was dope, though. Honestly, I started smiling when I heard it. That was pretty cool.
Paolo, you've had 34 more points in 11 games in your career. Tonight you do it in just 26 minutes. What were you seeing tonight from the defense that just gave you the confidence to shoot the ball and make those shots?
Yeah, I mean, I really been putting a lot of work in over this time of being hurt. As much as they let me, I've been getting shots up, trying to go game speed, simulate what it would be like. And, they were just, really going under and kind of letting me shoot. And, I got to be able to hit those. So it was good to see those go in. I think I could have been a little bit more aggressive to the basket, but I think part of that was, my wind and conditioning a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, it was great to have the three ball going, falling. And, yeah, I mean, you just got to make them pay for going under. So that's my mentality, and just got to keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.